Behavioral interview questions are prevalent in the human resources industry. As much as 80% of the questions in an interview are behavioral based. As a result, this lesson will focus on how to answer behavioral questions effectively. Recall that competencies are traits that allow you to perform a task well, interact proficiently with others and your environment. Within the work setting, competencies represent clusters of skills, abilities, and knowledge that are needed to perform work and often distinguish superior performance. In an interview, competencies are assessed using behavioral questions. For example, above are common competencies. Those bolded are generally the most common for all jobs. Behavioral interview questions, also known as target selection interview questions, rely on the theory that past behaviors are predictors of future job performance. Using past behaviors as a predictor of future behaviors is nothing new to the justice system. However, its application in interviews was made popular by academic Tom Jantz in 1982.
It was discovered, when compared to other interview methods, that behavioral interviewing resulted in increased reliability and correlation with job performance. Here are some examples of behavioral questions. How would you approach answering these types of questions? A good technique to answer behavioral questions is the STAR technique. STAR is an acronym that stands for Situation, Task, Action, and Result. The STAR methodology is the most effective means of answering a behavioral question, since it gives you an easy-to-use framework to ensure no vital information is missed. To use this technique when providing a behavioral example, simply speak to each of the STAR components. The first component of the STAR technique is the situation. The situation provides context to the interviewer around your answer. So when responding to a question, start by providing details like who, why, what, where, when, and how. The next component of the STAR technique is the task. Here you want to describe the task you had to complete or the problem you had to solve. The third component of the STAR technique is action. Here you want to describe the action or steps you took to complete your task. Describing the steps you took will reveal important information about your attitude, values, and thought process. Some applicants wanting to appear team-oriented use the word we. Unfortunately, using the word we in your response often makes it unclear to the interviewer what your specific role was. When answering behavioral questions, use I to describe your role. The last component in the STAR technique is the result. This is perhaps the most commonly forgotten, yet arguably the most important part in an applicant's answer. Companies pay for results, so it's crucial that you describe the result of the actions you took. In describing your results, be specific and quantify with numbers where possible.
Contrary to what the name suggests, false stars are not interview answers that lack truth. False stars are responses by applicants that are difficult to interpret or evaluate by the interviewer. These are typically statements of feelings and opinions or vague statements which cannot be supported with a specific example. To prevent false stars, avoid providing opinion or feeling as your answer, since they are often subjective and not verifiable. As mentioned, avoid using we, as it will be unclear for the interviewer what your role was. Also, avoid responding in the conditional or hypothetical tense, since behavioral questions look for specific examples of what you did in a certain situation, not what you would do or would like to do.